Now, since we have the query for the report ready, we might as well go and into creating a report for this query. There are a few ways up here. You can see the report section up here. One is to select the query and click on report. You can see when you hover, it says that it will be based on the current query. This one will be a blank design, so we don't want that, because even though we highlighted the query, we've selected the query, that will be just a blank thing. So we go either for that, not for a blank report, or that report wizard. So either for the report or for the report wizard. If you click on this, you get this, and if you click on the create report wizard and you select from the drop down list query number 3 and put all the fields available in the query obviously there, and you say finish, you get this. So now they're similar, but for this one here you don't need to get rid of the boxes. It's much more clearer. So I'd go for the one that we create with the wizard. This shows the event description and it repeats it many times, so it is not pair description. We want to make a few summaries and show data for each event description. If we go to the design view, we need to create, if you remember, a header for the event description. So if we right click in the empty area here that I've just created, because this was like so, and I've created a bit of blank area just so that I can right click on it. I say sorting and grouping. Yeah, it was here, I needed sorting and grouping, and I get it here. It says add group, and I want the group to be per event. Okay, I'm not summarizing anything of the event itself, so this is enough. The event description header, yeah, the event description header, I just added that. So these here can be moved down here. If you find this difficult to move the labels somewhere, so if you just strike through them to highlight them, you can use the Control X button, or let's say strike through them and say cut, yeah, and then right click on the area that you want them to paste and you paste them in there. There's many ways of doing that. So the event description is quite huge, this field here. Let's see if we can just make it a bit smaller. Select them, but the event description shows like that. So far in the report view we've got this. We don't have a summary of the total count of customers, we just count them per event, and the event shows twice. So in order for it not to show twice, we can move the name of each event in the header. So look how this is done. Because it's in the detail, it shows many times. So if we move this up here, yeah, which is the data, now it shows once. So we have Home Alone, Polar Express, and Christmas Song Time. For each event we have our calculations. Now we need the total number of tickets purchased for each event, and the number of customers, the total number of customers who have purchased tickets. These two lines are showing clearly for table and non-table down here. This data is fine as it is now so far, as long as we lay it out, but we want as well to show for each event the total of customers if possible, so we can summarize the counts, and the total number of tickets, so we can summarize the counts of the tickets here. So if we go back to the design view, the event description that is showing in the report view repeats many times. We know that that is the event, so that is only once, so we can get rid of the label event description. Let's do that for starters. So if we just make sure that this is the label, and it is the label, we can just get rid of it, and so far the report looks like this. So we can put this to overwhelm each part of the report. So we go to the design view and we make it bigger to stand out, so we can put these underneath a little bit further down, and this we can put it in the middle. There's the format here to middle align that, and we can make it bigger as well, so we can make it 24 or something like that, and now it looks like so. Christmas song title, Home Alone Polar Express. So number of customers, we can reveal this a bit better. Let's go to design view again and expand this, and it is a label, count of customers, we can say it's just a label, and we move the count of customers under that, so we can put it there. And let's go to the format and left align that and make it a bit shorter, and then we have count of customers and number of tickets, so we can say number of tickets purchased, number of tickets, let's left align that as well and put the details, the data that shows in the text box. See, that's a text box. You have to be careful with these ones. You can modify the labels, you see that's a label, but not the text boxes, because you're gonna lose the source. And the seat type, it's picking up the lookup that we've done in the tables. That doesn't really matter anyway. So review, report view, so number of tickets, seat type, table, and count of customers that have purchased for Christmas song type, number of tickets for each of the customer, and the seat type per purchase. Yeah, so this customer has bought 2 table tickets and 1 non-table ticket. We can go back to the design view and get rid of the frames around this in format again, in formatting, shape outline transparent. Let's go and have a look at how it looks so far. Okay, no table, it's more tidy now. Print preview in 1 page, it looks alright. We have everything, but we don't show summaries of number of tickets that it says here, the total number of tickets purchased, and the number of customers who purchased tickets. So we could submit this like this, but we're going to miss points because we didn't summarize the customers, yeah, this, and we didn't summarize the number of tickets. So up here, not as a detail, but in the header, we can create 2 new fields, one that says equals sum of number of tickets, tickets. We can see down here is the name of the field, which is a text box, not a label. Yeah, be careful that, because that won't help at all with the code. That is the source here, number of tickets, close the bracket, and because it's a field, remember to put the square brackets around it. Hopefully it will work. And we want to summarize as well, so here we say total of tickets sold, so we put a bit further that way, and we make space now to count as well the customers, count of customers. There's the count of customers that we have in our query. If you look at the query, you have a count of customer, count customers. Yeah, so in the design view it's already declared up here as a field, so we can actually go and get another text box, and we're gonna call this total number of customers. So it depends now. As you can see, we're fine-tuning a report. We have to take it as further as possible, but without wasting a lot of time. At some point you may have to give up, so you have to practice these things. Yeah, equals summary open bracket, and open the square bracket for this count of customers, and you have to spell it exactly as it is, count customers, and close the square bracket and the normal bracket. See, it says count of customers. Remember, this is a text box and this is what counts. We've got 3 tickets sold, 1 and 2, 3, and number of customers 2. Yeah, so we can leave it with the square brackets. We could just need to realign this. Let's go to the print preview. It should be alright. It's got some zooming ability here. If you say zoom 100% or say 75% or 50% or what have you, at one point you'll be able to take a snippet of it if you're desperate. Otherwise, once you create a print preview of something, you can export it as a PDF, and this is activity 3. So basically what you should do here is press on this once you've created it, when you finalized it. So you go to the desktop where you have the folder for part A of the exam, and this will be called activity. Let's have a look at the requirements. Activity 3D, registration number, surname and first letter. So activity 3D underscore registration number, which is 75342, 75342, and it is Clark underscore Clark. So the aim of the revision bits is to diversify from the Beach database and to show you certain quirks. You need to fine-tune your knowledge, yeah? So we say J for John. It is a PDF, as you can see here, and if you say publish, and the wizard here brings you this, you don't need to tick any boxes, just close this and close the print preview. And if you go now to the desktop in that folder, there it is. There is the activity 3D, and I actually need to rename this activity 3D. Yeah. If we open it, it is the report that we've just put there, and it's got all the summaries and all of that. It needs tweaking, of course. For instance, these gray areas should have gone, but still they might mark us a little bit down. But if we don't have time, if we're desperate, we cannot tweak them. The way of obviously tweaking these in design view, if we close the print preview, so now in design view, if you can see here, it says alternate back color, and probably that is the problem here. Just get rid of this bit here and the comma. So now when we go to report view, so we have now that, and the table field, the detail here, the data has an alternate background color. So if we click in here, alternate background color, we get rid of that as well. Let's put this as, let's call it ticket sales, and format middle, align it, and so far the report view looks like that. And we can actually make a few more adjustments here. So for instance, we can get rid of the boxes and so on and so forth. We know how to do that, and now the report looks like that. It looks okay to me, and let me export this one as well in design view. I'm going to replace the other one, so we say print preview PDF. Let's go to the desktop. I'll replace this one, so I just click on it, say publish, yes, and there it is. So basically, if I close the current tab, I close this, don't worry about this, close the print preview thing, and if we go to activity 3D now, we can see it like this, much clearer. So that was the issue with the gray areas. This is as well gray. We can format it in any way that we like. It's not a big deal. As well, just remember when you're saving your database, you see the lock here. That means that we've got a database open. When we close the database, that lock will disappear. I've seen many students copying that, and that is nothing. So say yes. See, it disappeared. That is our database. Be careful you're not clicking on the one with the lock, yeah, or moving it about. Let's open it again and check our report, and that's it. Anything that we haven't revised so far does not need revision, because it is implemented in the same way as you've done so far, as you've learned so far. Activity 5, we can have a little revision on that, but showing what the examiner said about the student that, for instance, gave a solution for this database here. So we don't need to revise for activity 4, I remind you, because this is something that you've learned, and it's a standard way of doing. There is nothing remarkable about this particular database and the testing. The testing is done as always, and what was remarkable about this was that we are diversifying away from the beach database, and there are other requirements here that we learned. So for instance, the input mask, the validations, some of the lookups, and the report was as well done in a different way. All of that was remarkable, and we only focused on that.